Are you a slut or a lesbian? Perception is everything. That is perhaps the most important and hardest lesson I have ever learned in life. For instance, if you are very hardworking and valuable to the firm, it only matters if your boss thinks you're hardworking and valuable. If you are a loyal and true spouse, it doesn't matter as long as your spouse believes you are cheating, and so on. Another hard lesson: it is nearly impossible to change someone's or something like an institution's perception. And so it is and was with being female in the military. The perception is you're in the military because you are either A, slut, or B, a lesbian. The thinking goes like this: you're a lesbian because you have male tendencies which drew you to the military, where you could exercise those tendencies while being surrounded by many other females with the same tendencies. You are able to share a barracks filled with women and have the opportunity to boss around men. Oh, what a lesbian bonanza. Or you're a slut. Because you cannot get enough sex as a civilian, you enter the military where you are surrounded by unsuspecting males. You have plotted to prey upon these paragons of service who, when deprived of military company, will fall gratefully into your trap because, well, they can't help themselves, what with all that strong maleness bottled up due to their patriotic sacrifice of being removed from nice civilian girls. And there you were, in your shapeless, sexy uniform, using your female wiles. Oh, you tramp. And so it was my entire military career. Now, mind you, it took me years to decode this perception, and as it is with most every female in the military, I thought it was my job to prove myself worthy of being in the military. I had to earn being accepted. I had to prove that I was strong enough, intelligent enough, and that I had what it takes to be a soldier, in spite of the fact that I had too much in the boob department and was missing the holy grail of soldier anatomy, a penis. Oh, silly me. This might be a good place to put things in historical perspective. The Women's Army Corps was officially disbanded in 1978. The women were thrown in the Army with the men, and it became co-ed. Until then, women trained separately and had makeup lessons and basic training and had uniforms designed for the female form. Think of the movie South Pacific. All those beautiful women serving as nurses and supply clerks, patriotically supporting our boys at war. WACs were perceived as an auxiliary. Their job was support the boys, pick one to marry, and then be forgotten. I entered the military in 1978. The first year basic training was co-ed, 3 platoons male, 1 platoon female. Oh, let the games begin. In basic, we were seen as an anomaly, an unwelcome presence being shoved down the throats of men who resented our presence. How dare we crash their all-male party? When a young woman, poor lamb, she thought she had joined the WACs, raised her hand while standing in formation to request permission to go to the ladies' room, our 3 Vietnam tour first sergeant informed us we were not ladies. We were nothing but a bunch of females. Oh, I thought, this is not good. Then he called us maggots. He called the males maggots too, so, okay, I thought that's progress. I was 17 when I went into basic training and 17 when I returned home from AIT. So if you're thinking, boy, were you naive, I would have to say, of course I was. My slut trouble began in AIT, where leadership was AWOL. I was first hit on by a first lieutenant company commander of Alpha Company. I was in Bravo. Confused, I went back to my basic training company and asked my DI for advice. He was in the rec room. He promptly hit on me. Well, no help there. The slut trouble had truly begun. I was female, in the military, and because I didn't act like a dyke, I must be a slut. I graduated as fast as possible and returned home. After my first drill with my National Guard company, my company commander dropped by my apartment, welcomed himself in, and asked me if I wanted to go on a date. Seriously? No, I said. You're my company commander. Well, after that, I had more KP and guard duty than Gomer Pyle. During my early years, I was desperate for a solution to my slut problem. So I conducted a survey of the other females who had extracted themselves from the slutdom, and I realized I had 3 options. 1, cut my hair. I mean, cut it manly short. Shave it high and tight. 2, act manly. Behave as though your whole purpose in the military is to be one of the guys. Be sure to bring your manly haircut and make jerk-off gestures often. While speaking loud and swearing a lot. When executed well, it triggers the male's homophobic fears, and you are safe. Go! The big key, number 3. The big key that unlocks the slutdom gates: get married. Not quickly, not quietly, no. It must include a long engagement where you talk ad nauseum about your wonderful man. And this is key, your wedding plans. Then once married, hyphenate your name, display it proudly on your new name tag, wear a ring large enough to be seen from space, and talk about your wonderful husband during every conversation thereafter. Of course, I couldn't pull any of this off. I was doomed. My military experience became a circus of the absurd. I was hit on by so many men that today, only a few distinguished themselves as truly memorable. I would run through the list, but time is limited. And so I remained in the state of the 4 Ds. Denial, disillusionment, dismay, and disgust. But for everything there is a strategy, and the strategy of the non-slut trade, when hit upon, are A, laugh it off in a way that does not offend the jerk, so that you have not made another enemy, because as a female in the military, you don't need any more enemies. B, act as though you really didn't realize he was hitting on you and exit as soon as possible. Or C, tell him to go fuck himself. I took the liking to go fuck yourself tactic so much that I was now a bitch slut. A decade into my career, I was the unofficially crowned bitch slut, a last holdout who had remained single and wasn't interested in hooking up. I imagine I was seen as like the big fish in the lake that hasn't been caught yet. The guys can't stop thinking about catching it, and the wives can't wait until it's caught. Because then around the age of 27, in spite of my non-hyphenated name and ringless finger, I was hit by a wave of, "Are you married?" I was asked so often, I began to believe it was a conspired joke. Every wife I came into contact with asked me. Their face would drop with disappointment when I curtly said, "No." Then they would look puzzled and ask, "Don't you want to be married?" And the bitch slut in me would reply, "No, I already have a boss." Or, "No, I'm not a big fan of divorce." Or my favorite, "No, why buy the pig when all he wants is a little sausage?" Brazen wives would point blank ask me if I was a lesbian, which I would throw back my head and laugh, "No, unfortunately." At a battalion Christmas party, my sister nailed it when she was asked if I was married or if I was a lesbian. She replied, "No, she just thinks that women are far superior to men." Perception is everything.
All right.